Welcome to the Psychotherapy Central podcast, where we discuss love, attachment, and healing from trauma. A place where you can gain the knowledge, tools, and wisdom to help you build secure, flourishing relationships. I'm your host, clinical psychotherapist and couples therapist, Jennifer Nurick. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me in this episode 31, where I'll be sharing the 6 behaviours that make relationships difficult for avoidantly attached and why they do them. So I'm fasting at the moment. My husband and me are both fasting on full moon and new moon, but it's not like a full fast because I'm having some ginger and lemon tea. So I'm fasting since 6 p.m. last night. It's now 2:30 p.m. So wish me luck on my fast. So far it's feeling pretty good. I have been drinking quite a lot and going to the bathroom, but I think it's just great to kind of flush out the body, let it reset. Just feels like the right thing to be doing at the moment. So back to the show. I know that listeners have very different levels of knowledge about attachment theory. And for those of you who are wondering, Jen, what is attachment? You might like to go back to my very first podcast, episode 1, 5 things you need to know about attachment theory. I give you quite a good outline there you can have a look at. The other one to have a look at is episode 2, Avoidant Attachment Explained. In both of those, you'll get a good grounding for what we're going to discuss here. So before we launch into this topic, please remember that attachment styles are protective. That is, that they're behaviours that have developed over time, often in our childhood, in order to keep us safe. To keep us safe and or to get our needs met. So for some of us, moving closer to our caregiver kept us safe and we got our needs met. And for others, moving away was safer or perhaps the only option. So when we are talking about these attachment styles, please hold some compassion for whatever style you think that you have or your partner might have, because they've come from somewhere. They're always adaptive behaviours. It's how we have learned to stay safe or get our needs met in intimate relationship. And we know from the research that those behaviours more often than not transfer into adult relationships and adult patterns of intimacy. Now, the great thing about that is that there is an opportunity for healing in relationship. And that's one of my favorite ways to think about relationship. When I think about my own relationship, is the opportunity that I have to do more work, because I will see more parts of myself in that really intimate relationship. This is often where the attachment patterning comes up. So when you tend to withdraw in relationships, you'll often find that your partner will pursue. So let me set the scene for a typical pursuer-withdrawer event. Let's say I'm married to someone who has more avoidant protective strategies. And let's say that we've gone away for the weekend with our kids and we've both agreed that we won't work over the weekend. And we've been out all day and now we're sitting watching the TV with the kids, and suddenly I realise, you're not there. And then I come upstairs looking for you, thinking maybe you're in the shower, maybe you're having a wash, and I see that you're on your laptop and I see that you're doing work. And before I know what's happening, I'm telling you how angry I am, that you're hiding away on your laptop, that work is clearly more important than us. And the withdrawer feels attacked and starts to defend, maybe gets logical, appeases, or withdraws to another room or to the bathroom to get away from me. So let's get curious about what goes on for those of you with those more avoidant protective strategies. I'll do this in the first person. First up, when I feel threatened, I get all logical to feel safe. When I'm being logical, I feel my body less. I go completely into my head. So I can avoid uncomfortable and vulnerable feelings that I don't know what to do with and I'm not used to. Sometimes I can reason my way out of the situation, And being logical makes me feel more in control of what's happening. And like I'm in familiar territory because emotions are unfamiliar and scary for me. So when I bring the conversation back to, is it logical? Is it reasonable? Does it make sense? I feel safer. Now that can be very alienating for our partner who might be having very big and maybe unreasonable, in inverted commas, emotions experience, right? It can feel very invalidating to a pursuing partner. So that was number one. When I feel threatened, I get all logical. Number two, I appease my partner when I feel threatened or when our relationship is threatened to keep the relationship safe. I move into appeasing. Now, because I haven't really learned about emotions and I shut them down early, I have quite limited ability to actually feel them in my body, to put them into words, and to share them in my relationship, which is often, again, very frustrating to the pursuing partner. So when you express strong emotions, I often feel confused, scared, like I've made a mistake, like I'm being told off. So I'll just agree to stop the flow of the overwhelm, essentially. I was going to say flow of energy, flow of emotion, but often it's the overwhelm. And I'm afraid that strong emotions might damage our relationship. And so I appease you. Number three, I become defensive when I feel threatened to keep the relationship safe. So when I feel criticized, so you've come upstairs and you're criticizing me, I'm on my laptop again, I'm addicted to work, these things are flying around. I know that you see my flaws. Maybe I do bury myself in work a bit. Maybe that was something that my dad did and I've grown up with. Maybe I kind of know that and I know that you're seeing my flaws and I feel maybe that I'm not good enough. Maybe it will impact how you see me and I value so much how you see me. I don't like the feeling of failing you in any way. And so I will fight to change how you see me and hope that you change your mind. So I become defensive. I put up my shield. You raise your sword and I put up my shield. Number four, I become withdrawn to keep the relationship safe. My nervous system tends to rest more in hypoarousal. So when I feel that overwhelm, my nervous system takes over and shuts down. I don't mean to shut down. My nervous system does it automatically. And then it's difficult for me to feel anything and I just want to withdraw. Or I might just feel like I have to get away, I have to get away, I have to get away and withdraw. I withdraw because I feel like nothing in this charged space is going to improve our relationship. So I withdraw to keep the relationship safe because I value the relationship so much. So my nervous system sort of shuts down and I want to withdraw. And there's part of me that's doing it to keep the relationship safe. Now for the partner, that can feel like you don't care about the relationship, you've switched off, you're not in touch with your feelings, you've just gone to the car for a drive, where are you? I'm left here alone feeling distressed and you've gone. So that's how that dynamic can play out in that pursuer-withdrawer relationship. Strategy number 5 is I overwork when I feel threatened to feel safe. So work is an area where I can feel good about myself. I know how to do well at work or in my hobbies. They're more predictable than relationships where I can sometimes feel quite lost, especially when there's a lot of emotion. So I can become quite addicted to work or very involved and engrossed in a hobby where it feels safer for me. Point 6, I try to fix everything when I feel threatened or when our relationship is threatened to keep the relationship safe. I feel safe when I can fix a problem, and I like to be able to fix my partner's issues. So when I have a problem, I look at it logically and I come to a logical conclusion. So I try to help my partner in the same way. However, I feel confused and rejected when my partner doesn't want me to help fix the problem. So there's something core inside of me that gets a sense of relief, a sense of having a function, of purpose, and of being able to help you and of being worthy of that love and connection if I can fix something. So sometimes when you share with me and I can hear, there's a lot of emotion and these things are happening. Okay, well, if I was in that situation, I would do X, Y, and Z. And so I come in to kind of fix it, to solve the problem. Now, what happens for my partner sometimes is they feel like, I don't want you to fix it. I don't want to hear X, Y, and Z. I want you to be in the emotion with me for a moment. I need some validation. That sounds really hard. I can imagine what that would be like. So part of empathy is stepping into your partner's shoes as the withdrawer. Instead, stepping forwards into your partner's shoes and thinking, how might I feel if that was happening to me? I might feel distressed. I might feel confused. I might feel unsafe. So I might say that out loud. I'm guessing that you're feeling really confused and I can see that you're really distressed. Do you want a hug? We might move into fixing and solving problems later, and that could be hugely helpful. But often first there is a joining with and a validating piece that needs to happen. And remember that validating is not about agreeing with the other person or saying that what they're experiencing is correct or making a judgment about it. It is simply stepping forward to share the experience and being curious because they're your person. And as the withdrawer, you love your person and you want to be close to them and you can see they're hurting. Another great question as a withdrawer for your partner can be, what are you needing right now? What are you needing right now? I can see that you're deeply upset. And that will allow your partner to really think about, what do I need right now? You're right, I am really distressed. And it might be that I just need a hug. It might be I just need to talk it through, but without any solutions or fixing. It might be I just need to be heard and I know that half of what I'm saying isn't really my full opinion, but this part of me just wants to rant and be heard. Do you have capacity to hear my rant for, let's say, 5 minutes? So in review, it feels safer to avoidant partners when they get all logical, appease, become defensive, withdraw, overwork, and try to fix everything. Remembering that attachment styles exist on a spectrum, and the research shows that our attachment style can change over time and with focus. I know because I've watched mine shift over the years and I've worked with thousands and thousands of people around attachment patterning. That healing process does involve some repatterning of the memories and the energy that's stuck in the past. I don't know anybody who's done deep attachment work without touching on some of those childhood experiences because they're stuck in kind of neurological pathways, in parts of self, whatever lens you want to use. And those neurological pathways can absolutely be kind of like melted and reformed and different programming put in. There are lots of different ways to do that in psychotherapy. Internal family systems that was created by Richard Schwartz is one of my favorite ways. I'm a big proponent of internal family systems. I also use some EMDR and find that very helpful as well. Schema therapy can be helpful. Lots of other modalities can be really helpful. Any transactional analysis, which is kind of inner child parts work, also very helpful. I have a very affordable course that will help you meet your inner child and work on your inner child in particular stages of their development. That's available for download from my website, psychotherapycentral.health. So if this is something that you would like to work on, you can see you can see me, you can see me or one of my team for a one-on-one session. As Australian psychotherapists, we all have global insurance and we can work with couples and individuals globally. It's for everybody on my team, it is our passion doing this work and doing the deep trauma work that sometimes will take us a while to build up to as an adult. And sometimes we just find ourselves in a situation where I know that what is happening in this intimate relationship is a direct result of some of the stuff that happened to me as a child. And I think I'm ready to work through that now. I can see the benefit in it. So when you get to that stage, reach out. You can always just send me an email or a DM through Instagram. My Instagram handle is psychotherapy.central, and I'll try and guide you in the right direction, whether it's here or whether it's somewhere else. So thank you for listening. I hope that this was informative, and wherever you are, I hope that there is a smile and warmth in your heart and a lot of compassion around patterns and attachment styles as you listen. So take care, and thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If you want to learn more about all things love, attachment and trauma, I'd love to connect with you on Instagram at psychotherapy.central or visit my website at psychotherapycentral.health. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a review and a 5-star rating. Your support means a lot, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.